Peace to the gods, peace to the goddesses of planet Ka, man. Today we're going to be talking about the Anunnaki. We got some great information to go over, so don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button for me. Y'all be safe, I say.
Anu Elion El. He would be what you call God, the Most High, the Creator, the All. He predates every religion. This is the real deal right here. Not this nigga. Every 45 billion years, an election is held to see who can be the Most High, or the Anu. Competition who can see who's the most smartest, the most wisest, the most intelligent of all. Anu won that contest and he was handed this staff and the throne. It was Asher who handed it to him. Whenever he won, he went to go take his throne on planet Nibiru, and that is where he began the creation. First began to decorate this galaxy. He ordered for new stars to be created every 24 Earth hours, and then he ordered for the planets to be created right after that. Stars are created by trapping helium in a stellar core and exploding it. Also ordered for new beings to come forth so they can start living on these planets. The Lyra constellation was made 44 billion years ago. Andromeda, 43 billion years ago. Our true home, planet Risk, was also 43 billion years ago. Orion was created 34 billion years ago, where his brother Alelu was in charge of it at that time. Orion is basically the capital of this galaxy. Many different types of species mix in at Orion, and they also make treaties as well. There's currently over 2,000 different species on Orion. They're both of the sons of Anu. The one on the left is Enki, and the one on the right is Enlil. Enlil is the jealous god. He the one that everybody in the Bible is worshiping. He's the one that caused the flood, made all them people starve, separated everybody. That's him. He's a narcissist. Nigga crazy. Hey, shout out to Young Elder, man. This is where I got this picture from. But believe it or not, this is an actual picture of Enlil. This is the avatar he chose whenever he came down to this planet in the sham. Look at how big his features is. He's probably about like 9 to 10 feet tall. See how mad he look? He crazy as hell, man. And before y'all say he looks like an Arab, they got their style from us. You see what I'm saying? He's just light skinned, that's all. He's still carbonated. Enki, on the other hand, is the merciful one. I don't see why they try to paint him as being the bad person, but believe it or not, he was the one trying to save all them people in that flood. That's part of the reason why him and Enlil's beefing with each other. Here's a photo of Enlil and his mother. Mind you, they're both full-blooded Anunnaki. Here's a photo of Enki and his mother. As you can see, she's part reptilian, which makes Enki a half reptilian as well. You're probably thinking, why the hell would the Anu mess around a reptilian anyway? This is all business. Anu married her so that we can have a treaty with the reptilians. Enlil's mother, on the other hand, got jealous of Enki's mom because she didn't want Enki to get all the birthrights to the wealth. If you know the Isaac and Ishmael story, that's exactly how this story plays out. That's what this is. From my perspective, all of that jealousy kind of spawned on to Enlil, causing both of the brothers to beef with each other. If y'all know the Abraham story in the Bible, that's exactly what this stuff is, man. We are all one big family. This is just two sides of it. We are all extensions of Anu. So the homeless brother you see on the streets asking you for money every day, that's the Anu. My brothers and sisters out there that's getting disrespected by these invaders on our planet on a daily basis, that's all Anu. We are all one big family and we are here to save ourselves. We're supposed to be praying and waiting for nobody to come save us but ourselves. As the planet is heating up, nature is already fighting back for us, and these other beings ain't gonna be able to survive here much longer. We just gotta do our part. Peace to all my gods and goddesses, man. Alright, so I just told you that the Adamant Project consisted of these Anunnaki creating these human beings to mine gold. As you can see, this is Enlil. He is also known as Yahweh and the God of your Bible. Remember, they weren't supposed to be making these human beings to mine this gold in the first damn place. Especially because of the fact that they interrupted the evolutionary process of the Homo sapien. See, look, I really want y'all to understand how this nigga Enlil is like. Like, he really is a crazy ass nigga. Enlil didn't want these human beings to have reproductive organs. He wanted to wipe them out, which he later on ended up doing. Like, the nigga plan was literally to make these humans to mine the gold and then erase all the evidence that they existed. That's how scared this nigga was of Anu finding out. The dude literally had a weapon called the Kaisusu, and that weapon was used to starve these people crops, to cause floods and just do all types of shit to get rid of them. So one day this nigga was like, man, these viruses ain't killing these people all fast enough. He was literally saying things like, oh, they too dumb, they don't listen, they too loud, they having too many babies, all type of shit, bro. Another thing you gotta understand about these beings is that they don't have the same emotions as we do. Like, they don't feel how humans feel. Like, one of theirs can die right in front of them and they'll just look at it because they already know they're just gonna get a new body type shit. Like, seeing an extreme amount of gore won't bother these beings at all. This right here is Enki. This is Enlil's brother. Enki was responsible for creating a lot of equipment, I should say, around that time. That's a helicopter. Like, back in ancient Kemet, these people lived in a type 2 civilization. Some of them even had laser guns, believe it or not. Enlil and these other Anunnakis tried to pressure Enki to use that machine to destroy the humans. And Enki was like, man, that's not what I am. I'm not trying to destroy nobody, man. I'm just trying to get this gold and get the fuck up on out of here, man. Like, they really tried to force him to kill these humans. Enlil was pressuring him. He was like, come on, Enki, man. Come on, man. Let's do it, man. Let's get rid of these niggas, man. I want them all gone. So he's like, I'll do it. Damn. Enki ended up saving Noah, them, in the flood. A lot of the events that took place in the Bible, that's where this stuff is starting off at. Enlil ended up throwing a party because of that. He was like, good shit, my nigga, man. We killed these niggas. We finna get this money, finna get paid. Mission complete. So Enki walked up to him to tell him, like, all right, it's over. I did it. While they was over there in that party smoking, drinking, and eating deer, believe it or not. One of Enlil's boys detected that they still had some life out there from a satellite. So he went and flipped out and got mad. Like, man, I told you to kill everybody. Who survived? Who did it type shit. Because of the commotion, one of the elders who was down here at the time told Anu what happened. So Anu got mad and came down here and he got on that nigga ass, bro. But I'm gonna have to do that in like a part 3 because I keep running out of time. All right, so Enlil and his goons convinced Enki to cause that flood to get rid of the humans that was here at the time. But secretly, Enki saved a few people because he ain't really want to do that. He ain't no killer. So whenever he saved Noah, the whole Noah's Ark shit that they was talking about in the Bible, that's what this connection is. I know what you're saying, but some of that stuff in the Bible actually happened, so bear with me. So Enlil caused a big commotion. He just freaking out right now, smoking his weed, freaking out. God damn it, who saved these people? Woot, woot, woot. And that caused Anu to come down. So he came down and they had a big ass meeting. So Anu came down here and he had a meeting with everybody. They all gathered up in a big ass group. So Anu, he was pissed off. The nigga was mad as fuck. Mainly because they interrupted the evolutionary process of that Homo sapien. And not only was he mad at that, but he was also mad that he found out that Enlil was killing some of these humans. Anu ended up asking, all right, who saved him? And Enki stepped up. That was the first time Enlil found out that it was Enki. And Enlil gave him that side eye like, bitch ass nigga, he a snitch. Enki came out and he was like, it was me, father. It was the one, I saved him. I didn't want to kill him because Enlil, he's evil. He has no mercy. He wants to kill these beings. These are good people. I don't want to kill them. So Anu went ahead and put a covenant on Noah's people so that nobody don't try to mess with them. Just in case Enlil try to come back later on and slide up on them and shit. He was like, don't kill these beings. They have a right to live. You made them, let them live type shit. Enlil ain't like it. He ain't like the fact that he got chewed out in front of everybody by Anu, because Anu gave him a long ass speech like, Enlil, you should whoop the whoop the whoop. Like, he got on his ass. He ain't like it. Nigga was mad as fuck. And he really ain't like it because he felt like Enki snitched on him. So he like, all right then, I got something for you. So that's another reason why the brothers are beefing. And for the rest of the beings, a lot of them was put on restrictions. Like Mother Ninti, I know she was put on restriction, but it wasn't that harsh because Enlil got the worst punishment of all of them. And he kind of felt like, man, why I gotta go down more than them type shit. But nigga, you was killing people, bro. So this is the God of the Bible that is referring to. Enlil, that's him. He wants you to worship him. He wants you to think that somebody's gonna come save you. He don't want you to be a God. He don't like us. Like, he literally told Abraham to go kill his son, and then he ain't want to do it, right? Christians. So the nigga, he called him back like, nah, don't do it. Like, who does? Like, what kind of God do that, bro? What kind of God does that? Like, just answer me that quick. Like, who does that? Nigga also told Moses to get the Israelites, but then hardened the Pharaoh's heart when he ain't let them go. Like, bro, who? Like, it's man. Like, I ain't trying to diss on the Anunnaki or nothing. Like, I don't want you to think they bad people. There's good and bad beings out through the whole universe. Enlil just did some fucked up shit.
In this video, I'm going to explain how exactly black people were created by the sun. In the stellar core of a celestial body, hydrogen, which is the most abundant gas in the universe, gets converted into helium because it takes 2 hydrogen atoms to make a helium atom. This reaction produces heat, which is called nuclear fusion, which creates an electrical storm, which gives off more hydrogen, which then interacts with the helium and produces a sort of like an explosion. And the explosion causes the celestial body to turn into a massive ball of light or fire. Over time, the ray that comes from the sun, the radiation, causes these simple molecules to complexify because atoms thrive in heat. From that complexification, atoms such as carbon and more complex atoms that are essential for life starts being produced. And these spiraling sparks of helium and hydrogen and carbon and all the basic building blocks that are needed to sustain a planet get flung out into the universe because the force is so strong. And these spiraling sparks of atoms cool off, slow down in rotation, and turn into planets. So a planet is just a dead star. And when Anu commanded the recreation of our avatars, I'm not talking about the 250,000-year-old Homo sapien Lulu Melu avatar. I'm talking about the new, renewed, rejuvenated 49 to 50,000 year ago Adam, who was Cadman, and Nekebal, who was Eve's avatar, who came from the Bantu tribe, and then the tribes of Atum and Lilith, who was Adam's parents, who were the Kuthites, who were a combination of Negroids and Hindus. The Hindus are the Asiatic black men who are descended from the disagreeable Elohim, the war-type Elohim, that came from the amber light. The Hindus, aka the Asiatic black man, aka the Dravidian, is the true sixth ether man. The Caucasian is not the sixth ether man. The Caucasian is the ghost of sixth ether. The Hindus came from the sixth planet, Nirvana, which is also called in tones Procyon. They are part Riskian, they are part Syrian, and then they are part Maldekian. A Maldekian is reptilian. A Syrian is that hairy-like being that looks like Chewbacca. And then a Riskian is the ancestral lineage of the Nubians. The Nubians, aka the Anubians, aka Anu's beings, who spoke the language Nuabu, which is the real name for the cuneiform that they said that we spoke, and we didn't. Cuneiform is Latin. Before it was in Latin, it was called Nubic.
Now, after a certain negotiation, Enlil wanted Nekebal and Carmen to come to his enclosed garden so he could train them. And pretty much, he wanted to let them know that he was their God. Pretty much, you get down to it, he wanted to let them know that he was their God, and that he wanted to train them, or what he wanted them to know, not more than what he knew. He never was going to teach them more than what he knew. He's only going to teach them what he wanted them to know so that they can rule over the workers, the primitive workers. See, Adam and Eve, them really wasn't primitive workers. They was going to be the raw bloodline that was going to come be like a demigod bloodline from the Anunnakis to rule over these primitive workers. They was already working in the land of Nod, these Igigis, in the land of Nod. Because remember, Cain, we'll get to that part. Cain said he's going to get killed by somebody. Right? This is my Bible. This take right here really for my Bible guys. We're going to break it down for you, man. For my Bible guys, man. All right, so they got brought to the garden. And Enlil had them walking around butt naked. Because he like to make humans walk around butt naked. It's like, you know, he got, I don't know, man. Enlil weird, bro. But he got a robe on though. But he got these people walking around butt naked in the garden. Now in the garden, it's decked out. You got all kind of fruits jumping off. Now it's the only tree he told them don't eat off of was the tree. It wasn't a tree of knowledge, because the tree of knowledge wasn't no tree. The tree that he told them not to eat off of, it was a tree that grew a fruit that if they ate that fruit, they'll live a long time. It was a plant or a seed that Mother Ninti had brought down from Nubaru. And she had planted it, and these Anunnakis would drink it to prolong their life. And they had another plant called the mandrake. The mandrake plant and this particular berry that they were eating to prolong their life. They didn't want Adam and Eve to eat that yet until they could trust them with what was going down, right? Now the tree of knowledge part comes in with these Nakash. Okay, they go Enlil right here. So Enlil ordered them to come to his enclosed garden. He's gonna train them. He's gonna be their God. He's gonna train them on how to rule over these Luluemalus, right? But he was gonna limit their information because he didn't really trust these humans because he didn't know how far. He didn't want them to pass him. You know what I'm saying? Go past him in knowledge. He wanted to stay over them because he in charge. Like he wanted to stay in charge. He liked it, right? So these serpent beings who walk upright, who were intelligent extraterrestrial beings that were already, some of them was already coming here. These nomos and these beings, really they were different species of them. They tell a story that Enki was the one that was teaching the Kebal because that was his daughter. See, secretly Enki was teaching his daughter, right? His daughter all the knowledge that Enlil didn't really want him to know. And the reason why he was teaching it, because that was his daughter. He teaching his daughter the knowledge. So Eve is the one that learned all the information, and then she taught Adam. Adam really was almost, I can't say he was dumb as a box of rocks. He just was an innocent soul, but Eve was the one that had the game because her dad was secretly teaching her. And the nomos, she was like different beings. Enki was sending different beings, a Ptah to Nikeba to teach her the knowledge of what these Anunnakis knew. And when she found out what the Anunnakis knew, she went and told Adam. Once they found out, they went and got clothes and put them on. Once they came around, we naked, this and that. They got the knowledge of what was really going down on the stars and how to plant and just everything that Enki was teaching them. And this was going on for a while. She was being schooled by her father and other beings for a while before she came, and she was coming back and teaching Adam Cotman. And then eventually Enlil when they put the clothes on and everything, that's when Enlil came back and said, why y'all got clothes on? Who told y'all that? Oh, well, then Eve had to go ahead and come clean, but she was already knowing what half the shit Enlil was knowing. Because Ptah and them and all these other beings were teaching them. Right? So he got mad. Enlil got mad and kicked him out the garden. He got mad. And he said he cursed the serpent. Say, because of this, you're going to be this and that, right? Then he kicked them out the garden, but he didn't kick them all the way out because he wanted to still monitor them. So he just kicked them on the outside where they couldn't come back in. Because he didn't want them to, because they had the knowledge that if they ate off that tree, because they told them, the beings told them, they said that tree in the middle, it got a fruit. If you eat that fruit, you can live a long time. That's what the Anunnaki, this mandrake and this other plant, right? They're eating them plants, and if you eat that plant, your life will increase. That's what these beings were telling them about. They were teaching them about herbs and how to live long and how to heal themselves. When Enlil wanted to do all that for them, he didn't want them to learn how to heal themselves. He wanted to be able to heal them so he could still be their God. He wanted to tell them where to go so he could be their God. But these beings taught them how to be their own God. So Enlil got mad, kicked them out. Boom. When they get kicked out, they were outside the garden, right? They're not all the way outside the garden. They're just outside of the dome, the gated area. They heal themselves. When Enlil wanted to do all that for them, he didn't want them to learn how to heal themselves. He wanted to be able to heal them so he could still be their God. He wanted to tell them where to go so he could be their God. But these beings taught them how to be their own God. So Enlil got mad, kicked them out. Boom. When they get kicked out, they were outside the garden, right? They're not all the way outside the garden. They're just outside of the dome, the gated area. right? So they watching them from outside the dome. Meanwhile, they have a son named Cain. He has a twin sister. They also have another son named Abel. He has a twin sister. Because keep in mind, back then when they had kids, they always had a twin, a female and a male, the Y and the X, which is why a woman got 2 breasts instead of 1, because you're supposed to be having twins every time, right? All right. Now, what they said that now we got to train Abel, because we need somebody to raise sheep for us that we can eat for the Anunnakis that's here watching over the Lulu Amalus. Plus we got to have food for the Lulu Amalus. So we need somebody that we got to train these humans. We need to civilize these humans and train them how to raise sheep. So they took Abel and they trained him how to raise sheep, and they created these sheep so he could raise them. Start creating these different animals. He had different types of animals that he was raising, right? Like bull, ox type animals. So they taught him how to do a shepherd. Cause they were gonna get him to be a shepherd. Then his children was gonna be the shepherd children. They were gonna keep control of the flocks and all the animals, right? They taught Cain they needed a foreman because they eat vegetables. The Anunnaki eat the same thing you eat. They eat vegetables and they eat meat. And these humans eat the same thing, and the Lulu Amalus and the other Anunnaki. So they needed somebody they're gonna have to train to know how to have a green thumb to grow food. So they trained Cain on how to grow food. These Enlil and Inky them. They went on train them, right? And to me, I think it was Eve that was teaching them, because Eve had learned all the stuff from her dad. So I think that Eve knew how to grow. She had a green thumb, all that. And I think that she was instrumental in schooling her sons these different things. But I'm pretty sure she got the orders down where they told her train Cain on this, train this dude on this, because we need a dude that can farm and we need a dude that can do the flock. So after they did the first couple harvests and flock, right? The Anunnakis wanted Cain them to bring them an offering to show that you serve your God, and that it really was a test to see how good have they grown their food. What have they learned? Have they learned how to really grow their food? Have they learned how to cook their food and raise meat so they can be civilized by themselves? So really, I think, like, if you think about it, their intentions was to leave them or leave them alone, but still be their God, but leave them to themselves. So this was a test to see do Abel know how to raise flock, and can he cook his flock, cook the meat properly so that they can consume it. And then the same thing with Cain. They wanted to know, can he grow his crops properly, and can he bring his crops, and how did the crops turn out? Kind of like that thing, right? So they had like a little cook-off, or you know what I'm saying, like a little cook-off or a little meet-up. They told Cain, bring us the best what you got, man. We finna have a cook-off. And they said, Abel, man, bring us some of that lime, some lime eyes. You know what I'm saying? We like that fresh lime eyes, straight off the, you know what I'm saying, the barbecue grill. So they told Cain to bring the grill out, and get us some of that lime eyes. You know what I'm saying? And Abel, you bring us some of them, the fruits and vegetables you're supposed to be bringing, right? Now, eventually, Cain, because he didn't really like the Anunnakis, he didn't see why they should be over them, and so he said, man, I ain't giving them niggas my good stuff. He went and got the worst stuff he could find that he's gonna feed to the hogs and stuff. Well, it wasn't no hogs then, but to feed to the animals, he brought that to them, right? So so Inky them, Enlil, he didn't like Cain's offer, because he said, man, this is rotten, man. Wait about it. Enlil turned his stuff. Enlil kind of like made him feel bad. Like, you know how, he came up with his bowl full of rotten fruits, and he set them on a table, and Enlil looked in the bowl and just knocked it off the table. Like, nigga, this ain't no good shit. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with this nigga? So Cain felt some type of way, like his consciousness fell, right? He felt some type of way about that, like, man, this nigga trying to play me. Like, this right here is it probably was the best shit that he could find. I don't know. He probably didn't get a good batch or something, you know. Some could have pestilence could have got on his crop and anything, you know. Shit that he could find. I don't know. He probably didn't get a good batch or something, you know. Some could have pestilence could have got on his crop and anything, you know. And he probably didn't know all that because he ain't that, you know, he just coming up in the game, right? So the Anunnaki told him, hey man, you go back and get us some shit better than this. But Cain didn't want to go back and get nothing better. He just really got mad and stormed off and just went off powder, right? So that goes on. So later on, after a little time passed, and they were gonna come back and test him again. Before this happened, Cain went and got his brother Abel and told him, hey man, I got something to show you in this cave. He took him walking and followed behind him. When they got a long ways in the middle of like an open plain, he picked up a big boulder of rock and busted him in the back of his head. Right? Pretty much killing him. Now Hakeem, I gotta watch him because he seemed to think that busting somebody upside their head usually gets the problem solved. If you gonna got a problem with a guy, if a guy takes something out of your hand that you were playing with, don't sit there and argue with him. Get something, find something, and bust him upside his head. That's how Hakeem think. Bust him upside his head and take your toy back. You know, you don't gotta sit there and wrestle with the guy. Bust him upside his head. Now that's how Hakeem think. I gotta fix this guy, man. He got the Cain mentality, busting people upside the head. Haru coming there all the time, holding his head, himself crying, and Hakeem walking off like, should have took it. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, he said the thing busting somebody upside the head usually solves the equation on what's happening to me, man. Nigga took my shit, let me bust him, let me crack him up back of his head. Yeah, so he ended up killing his brother, man, Abel, by busting him in the top of his head with a brick, beat him. And he didn't hit him just one time, he beat him until the blood oozed out of his head. You see? Because Dr. York is my damn master teacher. Don't get blocked. Matter of fact, let's block him right now. Let's block him right now. He out of here. You see, those don't know. Y'all get her real thug nigga, man. He blocks. Why I'm teaching Dr. Malachi Z. York? Nigga, because that's my master teacher, you dumb crazy dude. What the hell wrong with this dude? Get up out of here, bro. 2 live for life. You just got blocked, bro. That's how we get down. Now, anybody else want to get blocked for asking a stupid ass question when they see students of Dr. Malachi Z. York? I can't believe you, bro. Get his ass up out of here. Hey, the little kids washed out the window as his eyeballs exploded out of his head. And his head exploded. Yeah, because the first thing they draw is water when you get out of that suit, see? Your eyeballs pop right out, bro.
Alright, so I left off at the part where I was talking about the creation of the Nubians, aka the Anubians, aka Anu's beings, which comes from Nuban, which means new being. Alright, so the Nubian is not to be mistaken with the 250,000-year-old Homo sapien that was created by Enki from taking the Homo erectus, which was already evolving on this planet, and mixing it with Anunnaki genes to produce the Lulu and Malus 250,000 years ago, so they can be intelligent enough to be given commands to be slaves to mine gold to give to the Riskians so they can rebuild the ozone layer on Risk. And as a fun fact, the reason why the Riskians used gold to rebuild their ozone layer after Tarnush exploded it with an aerosol bomb is because gold can be made thinner than any metal. It can be stretched for over 50 miles long, it can conduct electricity and heat, and it can reflect solar radiation, so it's perfect for rebuilding the ozone layer. But back to what I was talking about. Although we're both related genetically, this is not the Nubian. This was the first avatar, or the primitive worker that was created just to be a slave. And the reason why the Sandsman has a lighter complexion is because he was the first prototype, and he has more underdeveloped melanin. The Nubians are your more darker Africans, the ones that are more rich in melanin. That was the 49 to 50,000 year old prototype that was created to be gods and was given control over the whole planet so the Anunnaki could leave Earth and know that we would be able to survive on our own. All right, so Cadman, who is also called in tone Zakar or Adam, was made 50,000 years ago to be a god over the earth. He wasn't a full Nubian, he was a Kuthite. The Kuthites were a hybrid mix between Negroids and the Asiatic black man, who's the Dravidian. That's who made the Kuthites, and this is the Afar tribe. He's a product of that mixture. And Atum and Lilith were Cadman's parents, okay? These were the Kuthites. Nikebal was a Bantu, who was part Twa man, who's one of the oldest Negroid races on this planet, and part Sans man, who is also one of the oldest Negro races on this planet. Those two combined to make your more Bantu features. They created the Bantu tribe, so Nikebal or Eve was a Bantu. And they were descended from the loin of humans that survived the flood, okay? When they were little kids, they were kidnapped by the Anunnaki and brought to the Garden of Eden, where they were genetically experimented on. And the Garden of Eden is where they learned to become supreme beings, so they could be taught, going through different schools of thought, to learn how to become gods over the earth so that the Anunnaki could leave us to this planet and we'd be able to cultivate it and survive on it. And they were also infused with the elements of the earth so that we could be in tune with our planet. I can go more into depth of this in part 3.